Nico Widerberg's first exhibition in Newcastle was at the University Gallery at the Northumbria University. And as a result of the success of that exhibition and the interest in his work, he was commissioned to produce a monumental piece for the opening of the new gallery wing, which was followed by other commissions to mark the new development of the campus on the east and west side of the city. Several individual parts of those pieces will be shown in London. He's one of the most gifted young sculptors of his generation, and in fact in 2004 he was selected to represent Norway at the Summer Olympics in Athens, and we were invited to curate the exhibition, which then travelled to New York, and parts of that exhibition were then taken to Germany and other venues in Scandinavia.
He is the most fearless artist I have met. And not because he is my son. I'm a very modest person myself. Not very fearful, but I'm not very courageous either. But at least he stuns me with his fearlessness.
I don't work with a model. What I do is that I try to create something that I can believe in, and also it's important for me to create something that, in a way, is alive. Of course, an abstract shape or thing can also be alive, but for me it's closer to be a human being and to try to express the feeling of being a human being and being alive and trying to understand life. It's not a person, it's more like a human being, and often I work with a man and a woman. It's more like, for me, it's that makes a kind of a balance. It makes sense for me. I've done abstract or things that is not with a figure, and that's fine. I mean, I like to do that also, but to do something that only you can do, that's also what I like, because this is something, it's only me that can make these shapes, these figures. It's not figures that's a copy of the human body. It's more like using the human body as a shape to speak through. My father's an artist, and I wasn't planning to be an artist myself. It was something that was, in a way, not pushed on me, but I remember at school people said, "Nico, you should work with sculpture." What? Yeah, okay. But then it started to grow up, and then I started to find this fascination about working with sculpture. I was, I think, 20 years old. And I went to this art school, and when I started there, I couldn't stop. Then it was full-time, so it took over. I always have been working with different materials since I started. Clay and stone and steel and aluminium and wood. And of course it gives different feedback. I mean, to work with stone is quite different to work with clay. Of course, you can have a kind of same idea, but it will look different, and it also give you different kind of response when you work with a different process. My closest contact with the sculpture is when I'm working with the materials, when I'm working like I do now, when I just work with the shape and it just small changes makes it balance in a way. Now I'm working with the clay, and later I'm going to cast it into plaster, and then after that we're going to cast it into bronze or glass. I do a lot of. Glass is melted stone. I came over it by coincidence, because I was invited to do a small thing on the glass. And then I started to see the possibility of trying to cast glass into bronze shape that we rebuild. So what make these shapes and take it down to the glass factory. And both sides were very skeptical about this if this is possible or if this will work out or anything. So, and then, the good thing was that it came out strange thing that I couldn't. You can plan it to be like that, and the glass is very different when it's warm because it's like syrup or thick, you know, and the Bronx is like water when it's heated. After they have taken it out of the oven, and then there is some damage. Things are standing out that we have to break carefully off. It's a long process. So that I have Monica that has been working with me for 7 years and maybe more. She also helped me, of course, with casting and also with stonework. But we should have been maybe more people. But of course, there is helpers like the Bronx foundry people. That's also so we are more than two. But at the top level with arms and then
Birth.
strange. And then they meet and then they disappear again. And she's pregnant just before that. I don't understand.
I've wondered about that figure.
Strange.
This because I've noticed that a lot more
that
of your...
maybe. Yeah, the stone, it's from Larvik, and it's a Labrador. I like this stone that it's stronger and it can stay outside, and it's not the hardest one. It's good to shape. I ordered blocks. They are much bigger when they come to this stone factory, where I first start to cut them and make them into the right size. We make a silhouette of the figure with a big soul, and then I start to shape it after. Everything you do with the stone, it's something you haven't done before. So everything you try, you haven't tried it before. But when you work with clay, you can feel that, oh, this I put on before. You can do the same thing many times to try that. But in stone, what you try, you only try it once. When you work with clay, you start from inside and work out. And the stone is opposite. You work from the block and you search for the sculpture, the figure that is inside the block. And also, the clay is soft and the stone is quite hard and difficult to start, especially in the beginning. It's so hard and doesn't want to be changed. Some people use a lot of time working with the stone, maybe years to make a piece like that, and I managed to do it in my own speed because it's the way I like to work, to just go into the stone, just do it. I mean, that's also the thing with the stone. It's something you have to decide all the time. It's kind of very dirty, hard work, but it's a fantastic thing to do if it's possible to change it because it goes so fast. So that's why I also have to do those things myself, because if people wanted to help me to make them or to carve them, it's difficult because then you have to explain everything and you have to plan everything, and it's a very, very different process. I also had this air protection with the radio inside, so we can listen to radio. So I think that's nice. Because when you work, you are in your own world, so it's good to hear different things on the radio. That's important, I think. You can't just be in your own cave making sculpture and being not part of the world. I am a part of the world, of course, and I'm not only working with stone. I'm a modern human being. The main thing, I think, is to be interested and to try to understand what is going on. I work with big shapes, and that's also important for me to make this shape more simple. I mean, I'm not working with a figure with hands and details and fingers I can break. Of course, the nose can break because its nose is a little bit thin compared to the stone. So you have to do the right things, the right moves with the tools and so. But of course, if you want things to go a bit fast, you have to take some chances. The stone can break. I mean, it could be something wrong with the stone, so it will break in two while we're nearly finished. And of course, that is sad, but okay, got to deal with it. For me, working with shapes or form or sculpture, it's a lot of dimension, proportion. It's balance. It's like music. It has to work together as one composition. That's important. So I don't measure to see what size I'm going to do. It's more like it's a feeling. So for me, the whole thing is more like to find the right balance in the shape.